Whispers beneath the stone. To love is to remember, even what the world would rather forget. In a world carved by silence and sealed by stone, stories live beneath the surface, unspoken, unbroken. This is a tale of one such story, a love older than kingdoms, buried in a tomb meant to be forgotten, and called back into the light by a heart that refused to let go. When Elira, dream-marked and soul-stirred, steps beyond the known lands and into the sands of legend, she awakens more than memory. She calls back Thalen, a fallen warrior bound by love and time, and with him, stirs something even deeper, an ancient presence known only as the Echo. What begins as a quest of the heart becomes a reckoning with the past, a confrontation with power disguised as devotion, and a journey through the fractured reflections of self. In the spirit of the Emerald Tablets, this story is not just about magic, but the alchemy of the soul. Not just about death and resurrection, but the deeper mysteries of love, its cost, its echo, and its impossible endurance. Beneath the stone, all things whisper. Some stories wait to be remembered. Some loves wait to return. The stone sang to her, not in words, not in sound, but in feeling, low and old, like warmth wrapped in shadow, like memory made of wind. They said no one returned from the worm tombs. That beneath those obsidian slabs, the dead dreamt in silence. But Elira had heard something else. A whisper. Not with her ears. With her heart. So she had come, under moon smeared in red and silver, through a desert with no name, clutching the pendant he left behind. His name had once been Thalen, and he had died in the war of the falling sky. Only, Elira didn't believe in endings. Not after what they shared. Not after what her dreams kept telling her. The heart that loves is always connected to the source of all love. And so she stood now at the mouth of the tomb, a silver blade at her hip, the mark of the seers pulsing on her palm. And with trembling fingers, she placed the pendant at the threshold. The stone glowed. Not bright. Just enough. She stepped inside. The tunnels bent beneath the world like veins, carved with symbols that moved when she wasn't looking. Shapes older than language. Names older than gods. The air grew thick. But her heart burned warmer with each step. And then, she found him. He lay within a crystal arch, eyes closed, body whole. Time had not touched him. The stone whispered around them, clearer now. He is not gone. Only waiting. The gate is the heart. The key is love. Tears blurred her vision. Elira, said a voice, not outside her, but within. Soft. Disbelieving. His voice. She collapsed beside him, the pendant between them glowing bright gold. I never stopped loving you, she said. Not even after you became myth. His eyes fluttered open. The arch cracked. And the whispers ceased. Because he was awake. Because love had bridged the worlds. When they emerged, hand in hand, the tomb behind them shimmered, not with death, but with remembrance. And the world, so long starved of wonder, sighed in relief. Some said Elira was a sorceress. Others called her a myth, too. But those who heard the whispers under stone, they knew the truth. Love doesn't die. It waits. And sometimes, when the heart is strong enough, it returns. Thalen didn't speak at first. His hand was warm, solid, and trembling slightly in hers. He blinked slowly, as if learning how to be flesh again. As if memory was dripping back into him, drop by drop. Elira, he said again, and her name and his voice sounded like the first morning after rain. She smiled, though her heart felt the weight of something larger stirring beneath them. I brought you back, she whispered. Or maybe, you brought me. But even as they embraced, even as the breath between them filled with the warmth of impossible reunion, the stone beneath them rumbled. The tomb had not merely been a resting place. It had been a seal. Thalen looked toward the deepest part of the chamber. His body tensed. We have to leave. Now. Elira turned, confused. Why? The whispers are gone. No, he said. They've only changed. You broke the gate. And woke what was behind it. They ran. Up through the veins of the earth, light chasing them now, not golden, but white-hot and hungry. Thalen pulled her close at the edge of the tomb's mouth, raising his hand and speaking a word he had not spoken in 1,000 years. The sand obeyed. It surged like a tide, sealing the stone shut behind them. Silence fell again. But it was not peace.
Want to dive deeper? Grab an ebook on Etsy or a paperback on Amazon. You can also reach Jay Bahari by clicking on chat line for instant video call, instant audio call, and instant text chat.
The sands outside the tomb had gone still. Too still. Elira stood beside Thalen as the desert sun bled into twilight. But something in the wind had changed. It no longer whispered, it listened. Thalen stared toward the horizon, his jaw tense. It remembers us. What does? Elira asked, clutching the pendant as its soft pulse began to burn against her skin. He turned to her slowly. The echo. The forgotten pact. That night, they camped by the remnants of the old star temple, a place built when stone still knew how to sing. Thalen spoke in low tones, eyes flickering with shadows of memory. Long ago, before I fell into the tomb, there was another who loved you. Elira froze. I don't remember. No, he said. You wouldn't. He was erased. The fire between them cracked. Not killed. Not banished. Erased from the pattern. A pact made in blood and soul to keep you safe. Thalen reached out, touching the pendant. He poured his spirit into this. Not to protect you from death, but to keep your soul hidden. Elira's voice trembled. And when I used it, you unhid yourself. Whispers in the wind. That night, Elira dreamed of stone halls filled with mirrors. Each one reflected a version of her, smiling, weeping, burning, broken. At the end of the corridor stood a shadow wrapped in gold flame. Not Thalen. Something older. You were mine once, it whispered. And you will be again. She woke gasping, the pendant scorched black around her neck. The desert cracks. By morning, fissures had opened in the earth behind them, thin, spiral-lined channels that hummed like the tomb once had. Thalen knelt by one and touched the edge. These are not wounds. They're marks. He's calling you back. Elira closed her eyes. What was his name? Thalen hesitated. Then spoke. Valak. The Echo King. The one who loved you first. The fissures grew deeper as Elira and Thalen journeyed toward the ancient veil of silence, where even birds refused to fly. Here, where the stars seemed to hang too low, where time softened like wax, the world began to remember what it once chose to forget. And Elira remembered, too. Not in words. In aching bones. In dreams that bled into daylight. In the way her hand reached for a blade she hadn't carried in this life. She remembered Valak. The mirror temple. They found it buried in sand and roots, a stone cathedral wrapped in ivy, with no doors. Only mirrors. Elira stepped inside alone. She had two. Each reflection shimmered with versions of herself, queen, healer, firebrand, traitor. And at the center stood him. Valak. He wore no crown, but power coiled around him like mist. His eyes, amber, endless, locked onto hers with a hunger too old for words. You came, he said softly. Even now, you return to me. Elira's breath caught. I came to choose. The final choice. Valak stepped forward. You were mine before time named you. I held your soul in the fire of the first gate. I burned for you. She reached for the pendant at her neck, now cracked and quiet. You erased yourself to protect me. I remember now. But I also remember what you became, she whispered. The air thickened. The temple pulsed. You claimed me, she said. But Thalen. He loved me. Valak's voice broke. I was love. No, Elira said. You were control. Love lets go. And she raised her hand. The mirror behind him shattered, not in violence, but in forgiveness. Valak stepped back, his form flickering. He wasn't screaming. He was weeping. Then he bowed. And faded into dust. The ending, the gate remains. Elira emerged into dawn, where Thalen waited. He looked at her and knew, the past had been laid to rest. No more tunes. No more echoes. Just now. They returned to no kingdom. No prophecy awaited. Only a quiet cottage near the edge of the world, where wind kissed stone, and wildflowers remembered their names. At night, when the stars whispered, they would hold hands and remember that no love, no true love, ever vanishes. It becomes. The end.
Old school soul in a digital age. Jibba Harry's love breaking out of rage. Soul ambition.